Good evening, traders. Zach here with the Trading Network. Hope you guys are doing well and that you had a good session today. It is Wednesday, June 9th, and I've got another daily market profile recap for both the ES and the NQ futures markets. So we are going to dive right in here to the market profile and get right into the key levels, starting with the ES or the S&P 500 futures. So you can see here, very obvious, we've been in a pretty tight range. 42.30 our high extreme, and call it 42.10, 42.05 our low extreme here. So the key levels that I was interested in today was starting with the overnight high at 42.34, 42.35 area. Next key level was 42.24. That was the prior POC on ES. Next level was 42.18. That was the value area low from yesterday's regular trading hours session. Second to last key level that I was interested in was the overnight low from that June 7th into June 8th Globex session. And last but not least, of course, the prior range low was our final key level on ES that I was interested in. And we had a very tight range, even tighter than yesterday, and we didn't get anywhere near our previous range low. So let us move on over to NQ, and we will do the same here, getting into the key levels, starting with the prior range high from yesterday's session, that 13,917 level. And just like ES, next level was the overnight high, 13,877 that I was interested in. At the time of writing, our high was 872, so we pushed up 5 points and made that new overnight high after I wrote this key level. So the overnight high was indeed the line in the sand level, as we'll get into as well. And not only was it the line in the sand level on NQ, but it was also the line in the sand level on ES. So the third downside, or the third key level to the downside I was looking at, was the prior value area high, 13,839. You can see that guy right there. Moving on down into the key levels, let me arrange my profile so you guys can see everything here. Next key level that I was looking at was 13,819. That was the overnight POC right there. And if I go ahead and turn on my levels here, you can see that I have that labeled. I have all these labeled. Sometimes they're overlapping. So we have settlement, prior initial balance, or I'm sorry, we have settlement and prior POC overlapping right here, 13,811. You can see that as well. And we've got the overnight low, prior value area low, prior range low, things like that highlighted on my chart here. So moving into our last key level on NQ was indeed prior value area low, 13,774. You can see that right here. And just like ES, we did not get that extension below the overnight lows and definitely did not get anywhere near prior range low or prior value area low. So we will get right into the pre-market analysis for my market profile that I was looking at this morning. I'll go ahead and hide these. I'll hide my drawings, and we'll clean it up a little bit on both sides, and we will get into the trade plan here. So overnight inventory was majority long on ES and NQ once again. So you can see if I pull these drawings up, here's settlement price. Settlement's 42.2575, and we have a majority of that overnight profile above settlement price from yesterday. Okay, so at the time of writing, we were looking to open inside range and above the value area from yesterday on ES and NQ. So we were looking to open above value, which is above value area high here, but still within yesterday's range. So if I zoom in here, we find O period. You can see we opened way up at the top here of yesterday's range, very, very close to actually where we opened up yesterday. We got the test. We could not, once again, get above the overnight highs, just like yesterday, and we got the swift push down. So at the time of writing, once again, we were looking to open inside yesterday's range, but above value. And to be fair, we almost opened with another gap to the upside. Going over to NQ here, let's find O period. You can see that O period was indeed within range. So I'll highlight this. This is where we opened up right here. Okay. And we opened up within yesterday's range, which is right here. This is yesterday's range. And of course, outside of value. So here's the value area from 13,774 to 13,829, and we opened above the value area, but within range. So that is what that means for those of you guys that are new to the page, new to market profile, new to auction theory and auction profile analysis, if you will. So this gives us an idea of how price is likely to move. So based on us opening above range, above value, but still within range, that tells us that we are more likely to see a ranging day. So moving on into the analysis here, you can see that I say this means that there has indeed been a slight change in sentiment since the previous regular trading hour session, but there is not significant directional conviction present, okay? So since we are opening out of range but in value, as I mentioned previously before, this means that we are more likely to see ranging price action and that we can take a measurement of yesterday's profile to give us an estimation of the size of today's range. So what that means, very briefly, is in a lot of cases, when we open within range but outside of value or within range and value, we can take the size of yesterday's profile, 175.50, and we can superimpose it on top of today's profile from a known previous level, right? So we can say if we used this level as today's high around this previous overnight high, then we're very likely to get a measured move down to 13,728. On the flip side, if we use this level as the low, which we did indeed, we're likely to get a measured move up to 13,979. So with that said, I would still be watching that 13,979, 13,980-ish area because we did not get that measured move. And typically when we do open within range and value or within range and outside of value, we are going to get that measured move sooner than later. So I would be watching 13,980 to the upside, and to the downside, you could call it 13,720-ish, something like that. Okay. So a lot of times we will get that move during the same session. So, if we reject from here, we'll get that move down here, or if we hold here, we'll get that move up here in that same session. But today there just was not a lot of trading activity going on. I mean, you can see just the size of the contracts comparatively is very small to what we're used to. So into the line in the sand levels, today I was once again looking at the overnight highs as the line in the sand levels at 13,872 and 42.34 respectively on ES and NQ. If we can move and hold above those levels, I was looking for upside continuation of the overnight inventory and a move to new highs. And if we could not move and hold above the overnight highs, which we did not, then I was looking for a value area rotation and very likely a move back into or towards our value area low from yesterday. So you can see on ES, we did indeed get that rejection from the overnight high. We got the single print selling tail as we saw yesterday, but we did not even get the move into value area low. We did not get the full rotation. So as it stands, the profile is somewhat bullish. Value moved up, which means that larger players, higher time frame players are accepting price at a higher value, right? You can see that a majority of the price action took place above the value area, which is where a majority of price action took place yesterday. Okay, so when value is moving up, that's generally telling us that the larger players are accepting price higher. So if we look at ES, a very similar situation here where we have value moving up. On ES, we did, however, get that rotation down to the value area low and just about a point and 3/4 below it. So nearly a perfect rotation on ES, a little bit different on NQ. We couldn't get that further extension. So I will be watching this 13.77.4 level. If we do move down below the the low from today, 13,808, the low from the previous overnight, 13,803. I'll be looking for a move down into value area low from that June 8th regular trading hour session. With that said, let's get into the rest of my analysis. As you guys can see, the line in the sand level, once again, just like yesterday, the overnight highs, and we could not move and hold above, so we got that push to the downside. So this recap is going to be pretty short and sweet as we did not have a lot of upside pressure. So, the bears were in control, and when the bears are in control, we're hitting those short opportunity zones. We're looking for bearish divergence at tests of resistance. And yeah, we'll look for some bullish divergence and some long plays at major levels of support. But generally speaking, when you see this profile structure, when you see an open test drive to the downside, you don't even really need to have upside directional conviction for yourself until the market shows it to you. So once again, upon open, I was looking to see acceptance above those overnight highs, which we did not get. We did not move and hold those levels as support rather quickly on open, and the higher probability shifted to that value area rotation and a move toward the value area lows on NQ and ES at 13.70.74 and 42.18. All right, so moving into the line in the sand and the targets here. As you guys can see, line in the sand was 42.34, and we did not move above the overnight high and the prior range high. So this is really, really orderly. I want you guys to pay attention to when you see several sessions smacking up against the same level, 3 sessions in a row using the same level to the tick as the high, that is a very, very important level, okay? So we did not move and hold above the line of the sand level, clearly, and we got that downside move. So 0 upside targets hit. You see I only have a few and follow the trend because we're at all-time highs. We could not push above, make new highs, and we had to take that information and use it accordingly and not, get bullish just because we were at all-time highs. So a line in the sand, 42.34, 42.35, previous highs right here. First downside target was 42.29. That was yesterday's value area high. We hit that right upon open. Right in the initial balance, you can see that we did indeed take out a good amount of our targets, or at least half of our targets in that initial balance, that first hour of the session. Second downside target that I was looking at was 42.24. 42.24 was the point of control from yesterday, and that was also a very important level because we had confluence from multiple sessions as well. 42.24 as the value area high from the 7th, 42.24 as the value area high from the 4th, and you can see 42.22 as the overnight POC from the 6th into the 7th Globex session. So a lot of good confluence there. I'll go ahead and hide these so things are a little bit more clear here. And we will move into the third downside target, which was 42.21. 42.21 was the overnight low. That was our third downside target. We had 5 downside targets and we hit 4 of them. So below that, we had 42.1875, which was the value area low. So you can see, just like yesterday, I'm using yesterday's profile levels as basically all of my targets, keeping it super simple. And that gave us really good areas to look for reaction off of. So the final downside target was 42.12. That was the prior overnight low. We did not get down there, but we did indeed hit 4 out of 5 downside targets. Again, we got the first and second downside target hit in that initial balance, and we had to be a little bit more patient for those further downside targets to get hit, but we did indeed get that flush into the value area low. We got that full rotation, the value area high to the value area low and back, if you will, which is a value area rotation. So just to reiterate here, when we open within the prior session's range or prior session's range and value, look for a rotation between the value area high and the value area low until one side breaks. You can see we didn't really have one side break, and that's what I will be looking for in tomorrow's session and into the rest of the week. So moving into NQ here, you can see once again the line in the sand level, the overnight high. We did indeed get a little bit of a push to the upside on NQ. So we did get the first upside target hit. First upside target was 13,896. That was the overnight high from the June 7th into June 8th Globex session. We got a swift selling tail after we tapped this level, and we got moved right back into the overnight profile and inevitably into value from yesterday. So the second downside target that I was looking at was, the first downside target that I was looking at was 13,839. 13,839, value area high from yesterday's profile. You guys see a similar theme here. When I'm creating my targets, when I'm writing my trade plans, I very, very often just use previous levels from our most recent session. So first downside target hit in the initial balance, 13,839, yesterday's value area high. Second downside target, 13,821. That was yesterday's initial balance low. So this was the low of the opening 1 hour range right here. Once again, hit in the initial balance, the opening 1 hour range of today's session. The third downside target was 13,803, and we did not hit 13,803 at all in the session. So we only had 2 downside targets hit. We had 1 upside target hit. We had a tight range for NQ, under 100 points these days, tight range for NQ. And I'm sure if you guys are watching price action, you saw how tight it was. You saw how in a lot of the situations today, it was very slow creeping price action, and we would have kind of a burst of momentum come in. So when you see this kind of price action, you have to make sure that you're very surgical with your entries and you don't basically become lenient with your trades and your trade precision, because it'll hurt, it'll chop you around, it'll make you sit in drawdown even if your trade idea is right. And speaking from experience, you want to make sure that you are precise when we have very tight, choppy, ranging days. So just to recap here, we had 1 upside target hit on NQ, and we had 2 downside targets hit on NQ, okay? Now flipping over to the ES profile, we had 0 upside targets hit, and we did indeed have 4 downside targets hit. So a lot more downside activity on ES, if you will, in regards to our targets, in regards to reacting to yesterday's profile levels. Whereas if we move over to NQ, you can see that we had reaction to the overnight high, the overnight POC, and the POC from yesterday's profile, but did not get any further down below that POC from yesterday. So it was a really tough trading day for a lot of traders that had big ideas in their head. Breakouts, new all-time highs, breakdowns, whatever. We really had to be patient. We had to take small little scalps for the most part, unless you really could, take the break of the overnight high and hold and hold and hold even for, an hour plus to hit these targets. So depending on what kind of trader you are, depending on if you're more of a quick scalper like myself, where you like to get in and out and trade, multiple positions within the same idea in a lot of instances, then, it was a lot of in and out, a lot of surgical precision and taking profit quickly. And if you are more of an intraday swing trader, then you had to be very patient to hit our downside targets. So with that said, I hope that these trade plans are helping you guys deal with this more difficult and different price action more easily. I hope this is giving you a bird's eye view. I hope it's giving you structure to follow and look out for. And if it is, please let me know down in the comments. It really helps me know that I'm helping you guys with what I'm doing here and with my time. So with all of that said, as always, I want to thank you guys immensely for taking the time to watch this content. If you guys do enjoy what you see, please feel free to like and subscribe down below. And as mentioned, leave a comment and let me know what you think. It really does make a difference. If you guys want to learn more about joining the trading network, please also check out the links in the description below, where you can first and foremost find a link to our free Facebook group where I release these trade plans every day, 9:30 a.m. Eastern. In addition to our Facebook group, you can also find a link to our website down below, thetradingnetwork.io, where you can learn more about one-on-one mentorship with me. This is a customized trading mentorship program. I offer 4-week programs, 10-week programs. This means that we meet every day, 5 days a week for 4 weeks, 10 weeks, or if you guys want to customize a program, I am able to do that for you as well. And I help you guys learn my strategies, learn my indicators, develop a trade plan, and trading psychology exercises to become consistently profitable. So if you guys want to learn more about mentorship, check out our website down below. You guys can also learn more about purchasing the Trading Network Proprietary Indicator Package. In addition to the indicator package, you can also learn more about joining our private Discord, where you can watch me trade live on a daily basis at 9:30 a.m. Eastern. I usually trade for 2 to 3 hours during the day, and this is a two-way Discord stream, so you guys can join the stream. You can watch me trade, my screen, of course. You can also turn your microphone on and ask me questions in real time while I'm trading. So this is a very valuable environment for those who are looking to make trading consistently profitable and to remove a lot of the pitfalls or work through a lot of the pitfalls that a lot of new traders experience. Last but not least, you guys can learn more about the Fundamentals of Futures Trading course, which is my comprehensive course that goes over multiple strategies for varying market conditions. I teach a trending strategy, a ranging strategy, trading psychology exercises, and more. And you guys can also purchase a bundle, which includes lifetime Discord access to the Trading Network Proprietary Indicator Package, as well as the Fundamentals of Futures Trading course, all in one bundle. And we even offer some payment plans to make it a little bit easier on the wallet as well. So if you guys have any questions about anything I've mentioned in this video, if you guys have any questions about any of the products, as always, feel free to leave a comment down below. Hit me up on Facebook, Instagram, Discord, email, any way you can find me. Reach out to me and I will get back to you ASAP. Thank you guys so much for taking the time to watch these videos, and I will see you in the next one.